Make the ground shake.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Game Hub. I'm your host Gamer K, and the month of June has finally arrived, ladies and gentlemen. That means summer is here, pools, warm walks in the sun, or for those of you who are in Canada like I am, sometimes you get a lot of rain in June. And also, it is my dad's birth month, so he selected every single video for this month, and he really picked a good one to start off with. Last year, I reviewed the Ghostbusters 2009 video game, and as always, it is still the best one, and it's fantastic, and I'm talking about the live-action version, and not the cartoon one for the PS2 and the Wii, because I am not stupid. Ghostbusters is better real life. And because I'm a fool, I'm going to be going over every single enemy and boss within this game. And last time I tallied, that is a total of 50. Yeah, I don't know why I come up with these videos. I guess I see a lot of ranking videos and everything. So I figured why not do another one, because I think I did one before. But this is definitely my longest one. So, basic things for this. I will only be going over the live version one, because the cartoon one doesn't have the exact same ghosts, because it dumbs down to kids. Also, I will not be doing so much on one topic. I'll make a couple quick jokes, make a couple quick comments, make some observations about the enemy or boss, and this is going in order from the worst, well, not the worst one, but the lamest one right to the best one. So get your proton packs and gear, and we ain't afraid of no ghost. Although to be fair, I might be a little afraid. So this is Gamer K ranking every enemy and boss in the Ghostbusters 2009 video game. Starting off the list at number 50 is the Sloth Ghost. Yeah, the first tutorial boss and the first ghost we actually capture, obviously it's going to be at the bottom. It escapes when we accidentally blast the containment field, and we got to catch it in the firehouse. It's as to its name, the Sloth Ghost. It's not going to be like Sid or Flash. It's basically a big dude who is very slow, and he pukes at you. Yeah, it's basically the tutorial, so there's not that much on this ghost, and then immediately when we find it, we get all the information. So, yeah, first ghost, first on the list. Big shock. Number 49, the Possessed Humans. And technically this counts because they are scannable and they are enemies. Possessed Humans are basically possessed humans by possessor ghosts who are being controlled and vomit up green sludge. Basically any girl after St. Patrick's Day, basically. It's pretty easy to get rid of them. Just slime them and the ghost will come out. Pretty easy. Although now that I think about it, considering that the Ghostbusters can be possessed, it made that section of the game a little bit difficult. Command number 48, Dead Fish Flyers. The first destructible enemy in the game. These fish flyers appear in the kitchen and are basically fish flying through the air, and we just gotta destroy them. And they're not that much. So basically, fish out of water, fish out of the dead, and that's basically it for this one. Command number 47, Flying Skulls. Basically, same thing for the museum. Same thing as the flying fish. For the museum level, they're flying skulls, and honestly, it would have made a really better Yu-Gi-Oh card. Command number... You know what? I'm not going to do the numbers anymore because I'm not going to remember every single one. I'm just going to keep going. Next is the Key Head Monsters, which appear near the finale of the game at the final section of the Central Park Cemetery level. Yeah, Central Park Cemetery. Does not make much sense. Play the game and you'll get it. These monsters are basically the monsters we gotta destroy by removing their keys out of their head in order to open the giant gate. And we get two big ones, and plus there's a whole bunch of other ghosts around there too. So, yeah, two big bads that aren't really that bad. Coming up next, the Cemetery Crawler. There's a lot of crawlers in this game, and they are all terrifying, and they all give my spine a quick tingle, and I don't like them. They're basically creatures that crawl all over the ground and just swarm you, and it's annoying. The cemetery ones are obviously cemetery-ish. Seriously, how is this not a Yu-Gi-Oh card? Next, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Yep, second level boss in the game, and it's as easy as pie. Or should I say easy as s'mores for this one. Basically, it's Gozer again, and we just gotta... You know what? I'm pretty sure I talked about him in the worst boss list, in my worst boss list, so check that out if you want my opinion on Stay Puft. Next up, the Kitchen Flyers. Basically, they are pots and pans that have become ghostly and decide to attack us. Seriously, shouldn't Beauty and the Beast do something like this? Next up, the Stone Gargoyles. Honestly, I was expecting Broadway, Brooklyn, and Goliath. If you know that is a reference to, you're awesome. The Stone Gargoyles are pretty basic. I mean, they are gargoyles. They are made of stone. Basically, just snare them in the proton stream and just slam away. Basic Wrecking Ball scheme. Coming up next, the Stone Angels. And who says cherubs aren't annoying as heck? And I'm not talking about the ones from Hell of a Boss. These stone cherubs appear in the final level at the cemetery in the Central Park Cemetery, and they're basically like the stone soldiers, just more annoying because they can shoot arrows at you at long range. Basically, get rid of these annoying things and do it the way Blitzo did in Hell of a Boss. Coming up next is the Cultist. I'm pretty sure I speak for everyone when this section in the library level was annoying. Hall of Mirrors, and we just got to find the one cultist, and it's pretty irritating. Cool design, not used enough. That's it. Next is the Chandelabra Crawler, and this is the part of the game that really made me terrified of enclosed spaces with Chandelabra spiders coming toward you, and you're the only one around. Yeah, that part really it really creeps me out with the Chandelabra Crawlers. They're basic, they're simple, but they're still creepy. Next, Slimer. Hey, Slimer's not at the bottom of the list for once. Slightly. Slimer is basically Slimer. We follow him throughout the first part of the first level, and he is the first boss. But I guess it couldn't be as worse than what they did with the 2016 Ghostbusters video game, right? I mean, oh wait, Slimer didn't really get anything in that. Aw, poor Slimer. Coming next, the Book Bats. Another flying enemy that is actually a threat because they come in a multitude of swarms in the library level. And I've died a good enough, well, not died, but I've lost a lot of health with all these things crashing into me. They're like kamikaze novelists. And honestly, it's creepy and it makes sense. You will definitely need to count in the triple digits for how many of these you kill throughout the game. Next up, the Venom Crawler. These ones are even more creepy. It kind of has a resemblance of the alien in the movie Alien. Basically, they crawl, they spit black slime, and they are definitely evil as shit. That's it for this one. Coming up next is the Possessor Ghost, which, ironically, they are women. And who says women aren't possessive? No rim shot? Okay. The Possessor Ghosts appear in the library level, and honestly, they are pretty simple. They basically possess humans, they are basically useless afterwards, and once you trap them, that's pretty much it. Possessor Ghosts, cool concept, really cool idea of making them into beauty queens, but they are still pointless, and, well, not pointless, they're still easy to get. Coming up next, the... Oh! Okay, I did have that correct. Coming up next, the Bellhop Ghosts. See, this is what happens when Esteban from Sweet Life finally goes. He gets all the bellhops together and he seeks revenge. Bellhop ghosts are pretty fun. They throw luggage at you, they throw the stuff in the hotel at you, and after trapping them, you don't need to give them a tip. Coming up next is the Marshmallow Minions. See? Stay Puft see? Burnt marshmallows can be used for something. Creating monsters and attacking you and getting you all marshmallow gooey. Seriously, where was a giant graham cracker and some chocolate when you needed it? Coming up next, and I'm putting these two close together because they are technically the same thing, Crusto and Cruster. The two torso, the two animators from the library level that are the first things that we come here to investigate, basically. And all honesty, I don't know why they added these things. They basically do nothing, but we chase them throughout the first little bit of the library until we capture them in the printing room? I'm not really sure. But basically, they're the same, just different colors. So, repaint BS. Coming up next, spider crawlers. Spiders! A giant legion of spiders! I've been waiting a while to say that. The spider crawlers are honestly one of the better crawler enemies. Mostly because, they didn't need to do much. They're just giant spiders. Blast them away and send them back to Aragog. Wow, two movie references in one thing. Not bad. Coming up next, the Grave Fiend. These are basically just dug up corpses that remind you of the Vendread cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! I am not kidding. These things are creepy, especially when the library is such a dark area and all you can see is their glowing eyes and glowing claws. Basically, just destroy them with the shotgun weapon and you'll feel like you're in Resident Evil or The Walking Dead. Coming up next is the Black Slime Fiend. These ones are really cool, being a black slime phantom ghost and floating around and being able to teleport within the black slime holes. Honestly, it's one of the cooler ones designed, and it wasn't just it is just a phantom that even Scooby-Doo would laugh at, just with black slime. And they gave me a good amount of trouble as well. So, really cool. Coming next, the Web Fiend. Basically the Grave Fiend, just spider-ish. And again, for someone who really doesn't like spiders in video games like this, they are scary as heck, especially when they scream and run towards you. You gotta shoot them really quick because you don't want those things on you. Coming up next, the Hobo Fiend Ghost. Yeah, it's not going to be a New York game without at least one hobo. And honestly, they do pretty good. They throw vodka bottles at you. They throw Molotov cocktails. And basically, you'll finally make them not homeless in the containment field. Coming up next is the Coal Golem. The Golem appears before the boss fight of the Gray Lady. And all honesty, not bad. All you gotta do is just blast it until you can get the vent face off of it, and that's all you wrote. See, this is a good use of all the coal that naughty kids get. Coming up next is the Cook Ghost. Seriously, how many times do we need to do dead cook? No way, have we done cook jokes in it before? I'll think of something. Anyway, the Cook Ghosts appear in the second return to the hotel level. And all honesty, they should have been there in the first place. It would have been a lot better boss fight than fighting that stupid sailor. Although they were made to order, and we flash froze them, we cooked them right up, and we served them into our containment unit. I'm running low on jokes here, ladies and gentlemen. It is not easy to do all this. Next up, the Kitchen Ghost. Kitchen Golem. Had the words crossed there. Kitchen Golem appears in the final part of the first part of the set of the hotel level, and it's being possessed by Poppy Sargassi. And all honesty, this one's pretty cool, having it done in the restaurant, at the top of the hotel, and who knew kitchen appliances could be so unified? See, this made kitchen appliances cool before Food Wars. And that tracks. Next up, Speaking of which, Pappy Sargassi, the first main boss in the game. Well, first final level boss, and oh lord, is he irritating. He's basically an old sailor with a life preserver, throwing his fishing rod at you and just making odd noises. I really do enjoy that you hear the sound of the dinghy going by, ding ding, like a dinghy in the water whenever he's around. It definitely adds to the sailor aspect. Well, all captains go down with the ship, and so did he. Coming up next, the Possessed statue. Basically everything I've said about all the ghosts, but with statues in the museum level. Seriously, did the Ghostbusters have to refund the museum for destroying all these statues? I don't really understand. Coming up next, the Grave Monster. Seriously, this thing looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Why isn't it? The Grave Monster is basically every golem in the game, just with a graveyard twist. And now that I think about it, it looks like Kokemiru Boulder. I might put references up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You'll understand. Coming up next, the Book Centurion. The Gray Lady is being really creative with books, but really a centurion? I don't get it. Books? Warriors? I thought they were supposed to not be smart. Coming up next, the Librarian Ghost. Finally! The main focus of the first little bit of the movie that literally gave the Ghostbusters business. And we finally get to fight her. And honestly, this Gray Lady is definitely very book smart. Using the books to create a force field, screaming at us like she did in the movie. And in all honesty, it was great to finally put in the containment field, because if you remember, she was never caught in the movie. So I guess this kind of balances things out a little bit, that we finally got the Gray Lady. Such a great boss fight. Coming up next, the Imprisoned Juvenile Sloth. Second final boss in the game, and even though it's really cool, it's kind of lame. Basically, the cause of all the black slime on the island, because, again, on the island level, all the ghosts are basically the black slime monsters. Which is disgusting. And once we get to it, the Imprisoned Juvenile Sloth is basically... The best way I can describe it is if you picture a chocolate-covered Godzilla. And I'm not over-exaggerating that. If you look at images of him, you will kind of see it's a chocolate-covered Godzilla, basically. And it doesn't do much except split black slime and chomp at you when you're near. And his weakness is the glowing green orb on his head. How is it a boss that looks so menacing is one of the weakest ones in the game, but it got so high on the list because it's not so stupid looking? Coming next is Paper Construct. I believe this is the last of the destructible monsters because it's one of the creepy ones. It's basically formed out of old paper in the library, and they are the way they scream, it is very creepy. And watching them run towards you, it's, again, very scary. It reminds me of the the Phantom Virus in the Scooby-Doo movie. And by movie, I mean kind of short series that could have been 3 episodes for the series. Man, I need to stop harshing. But seriously, they're cool, and they're evil, and they'll definitely give you more than a bad paper cut. Coming up next is the Opera Diva. Well, it's not over till the fat lady sings. And that's all they do. They sing and move and rush you with their horned hats. Close the curtain. Man, I really need to get better with these jokes. Next, the construction worker ghost. Once again, New York City. What's New York City without a couple dead construction workers? Literally, basically every case in Law and Order and CSI New York half the time. But these ones are actually pretty cool. They shoot bolts at you with their bolt guns. Honestly, that is really, really creative. Why hasn't anyone done this for a game character? Coming up next is the Beauty Queen ghosts. Beauty queens they may say to be, but they are not. They're basically another form of the possessor ghost in the museum level, and they do the exact same thing. They possess, and that's pretty much it. Next. Contestant, please. The Confederate and the Union ghosts. I'm putting these two together because, again, they're basically the same thing. And, yeah, one of them's blue, one of them's gray, but in the end, they all secede. Really? No one's going to get that joke? Next. Coming up next is actually... Wait a minute. Oh, no, wait, that is correct. Never mind. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting double vision a little bit. Coming up next is the Cultist Summoner. A bigger version of the Cultist before, and it summons more ghosts to deal with ya. Seriously, it just looks like a reskinned ripoff of one of the bosses in this game. Coming up next is the Book Golem. Other than the Kitchen Golem, the only other golem that is actually pretty tough to defeat. The Book Golem is basically... Seriously, how are these not Yu-Gi-Oh cards? The Book Golem is basically a giant consumption of books. And for the first one, you got to fight on your own basically in the giant library area. All honesty, great use of the giant area. Coming up next, Chef DeForest. Not exactly a boss fight, but somehow he was the boss in the kid version. I don't get it either. He appears with his cook ghost in the kitchen flyers in the second visit to the hotel level, and once you turn on all the lights, him and his cooks try to cook you into dinner. And not cook you dinner, he tries to cook you into dinner. He basically because of a bad... What was it again? I believe the story went that in order to avoid receiving a bad review, he poisoned the critic's food. Unfortunately, I believe he and all of his staff got that meal. Seriously, if he was as bad as a cook as he was a planned murderer, no wonder the restaurant shut down. Coming next, the Black Slime Monster. And we're done with the black slime, finally. This one had me going because every time we faced it, we were literally alone in the level. And when you're trying to run away and fight multiple black slime creatures, it's not that easy. And honestly, seeing it dissolve into its own slime after being defeated, it gives you that satisfaction of defeating it all on your own. Next is Shandor, the big bad of the game, and honestly, even though he looks cool in both versions of boss fight, he is basically one of those in the shadow bosses, and honestly, pretty well done. His scheme was pretty well done, his ghost form looks pretty cool, and his final boss form is, honestly, nothing I would have never expected from a Ghostbusters game. It's not cartoony as heck, and it's more epic than anything else in the game. Okay, well, except for the top three here, for the next top three. And all honesty, he looks like he belongs more in Diablo than in the Ghostbusters. All I'm gonna say. Next up, the Spider Witch. I swear to God, if there's a way to make a woman look terrifying, give her the spider body. Okay, except for anime, then for some reason it makes them look attractive. I don't get it. But the Spider Witch in the game is scary beyond all belief. She basically seduces men and brings them to her room, and not exactly what you think. She turns them into her nest. And going up there with just Egon, seeing the hotel morph into this spider's nest, and then I hate this level so much. But the boss is pretty cool. She basically goes all over the level with her legs and taunts you and strikes at you. and then she regenerates, and you gotta look for her, and it's the okay, looking for a boss, sometimes I don't mind it. Looking for a boss in a creepy level, I don't like it. Looking for a spider boss in a creepy level, I do not like it. Well, at the end, this witch ends up on her back. Because spiders die, they are on their back and their legs. Okay, you guys need to get your head out of the gutter. Coming up next is the chairman. This boss was honestly really fun. Really fun in that it's pretty basic. He hides throughout the majority of it, and you gotta destroy the obstructions in order to actually get off a clean shot. And he is the reason we have to use the Meson Collider, which is the final weapon upgrade. And he is literally one of the few bosses that actually uses it to defeat him. He's basically a giant overindulging chairman of the board who was a cultist of... So basically, he's just an overpowered rich dude, and now he got defeated by guys who should have been unemployed. The world keeps turning, doesn't it? And finally, the best guy in the Ghostbusters video game is the third boss. Wait. Slimer, Sargassi, Stay Puft. The fifth boss, but the boss of the third level, Lord the Destroyer. Such a cool design from the towering creature surrounded by debris swirling around his body the whole time, from the helmet-like mask to just the way that Egon, you, and Ray keep getting slammed every time you fight him. And being able to teleport to different parts of the room via the portals as a great way of getting around to your allies is cool. And not only that, but his backstory is honestly one of the cooler ones in the game. And all honesty, I was not expecting this from the library level. I was expecting defeating the gray lady, and that was it. But the library turned out to be fun. And honestly, also with the most badass boss in the game. Just gonna end it right here. And that is me ranking all the bosses and enemies from the Ghostbusters video game. And I feel tired now. I am exhausted after that. I feel like my spirit needs to rest for a bit. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for the first video of June. Like, comment, subscribe down below. And coming up next week, it's for my father's birthday. Join me next week as we play Villainous once again and get ready to board the steamboat. This is Gamer K, logging out.